KC, we run the ring, we run the yard, we run it all. Kansas, what you screaming out? KC, we run the ring, we run the yard, we run it all. Kansas, what you screaming out? What you screaming out? What you talking about? What you screaming about? Fight KC, everybody say, fight KC, come on, fight KC, what you screaming out? Fight KC, what you talking about? Fight KC, come on, fight KC. Fight KC, what you talking about?
My mind is on the future. In 2 weeks, I've got Lakota Red Cloud in the next round of this title tournament. Well, let me ask you something, Red Cloud. You're a big man, you're strong, but how can you hurt the leg of a man who can literally levitate with the power of yoga? How can you lift me over your head if like a blade of grass I bend with the wind? You're a big, strong man, my friend, but I'm not afraid of you, and I will be the first NWL champion.
Welcome, wrestling fans, to the National Wrestling League Kansas City. Ben Miller sitting here with Christopher Fulton, and we have a hot night of wrestling action in store. And to kick off tonight's action, we have a KC title tournament match as the Elite Eight, two of the competitors of the Elite Eight compete here tonight, starting off with one high on life, Ken Dharma.
Ken Dharma, I've said it before, he's somebody that nobody can prepare for. He does things in that ring that nobody else can do. He might be the guy to go all the way. He certainly has done very, very well for himself, and I'm very, very interested in this particular matchup tonight.
A lot of fans of the National Wrestling League in Kansas City have been waiting with bated breath to see this match between High on Life Ken Dharma and the crowd favorite Lakota Red Cloud.
Well, I think he's a crowd favorite because people like to chant, they like to do things, simplistically, and that perfectly fits in with Lakota. Simple. See, there they go with that chant again.
And the Lakota warrior Red Cloud makes his way into the Scottish Rite Temple here in Kansas City, Missouri, to the adulation of all the fans here. And Lakota Red Cloud is looking to advance to the next round of the KC title tournament. And a lot of fans told me right before we went on the air that they are hoping that he becomes the first Kansas City champion here.
Certainly he's got a lot of fans, but a lot of people in Kansas City are stupid, so I can see why they would cheer for a guy like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is set for one fall. It is an NWL KC Elite 8 Tournament Contest. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, on my left, from a piece of mind at 5'10", weighing 174 pounds, Ken Dharma.
How flexible is this guy? Wow.
And over here to my right, from the Santee Sioux Reservation at 6 foot tall, weighing 290 pounds, the Lakota warrior, Red Cloud.
6 feet tall, 290 pounds. He definitely has the size and strength advantage here in this match against Ken Dharma. The one thing Ken Dharma does have it on his side, like you saw in that video package, is he believes his flexibility and his peaceful state of mind will lead him to victory here tonight.
Absolutely. Ken Dharma always in the present moment. He's always aware of what is going on with him. He's never looking to the future. It's done well for him in the past. It'll do well for him here tonight. Look at that, Red Cloud.
Almost like a small child sets Ken Dharma up on the top rope and pats him on the head. I mean, that collar and elbow tie-up, Dharma was trying to push him back to the corner and couldn't move the Lakota Warrior 1 inch.
Certainly going to be a tough obstacle to try to move Lakota around, but the kick to the gut.
Hard right hand sends Dharma reeling, and he needs to take a timeout here from that right hand from Lakota Red Cloud. Lakota is going to look to finish one Ken Dharma with one of those powerful offensive maneuvers that he has in his repertoire. And if he connects with the Red Thunder Power Slam, it's over for Ken Dharma, and Lakota will be moving on in this KC title tournament.
How is he going to be able to get him into a move like that? Ken Dharma, so slick, look at that, so agile. He is definitely somebody who represents a challenge for anybody.
What do you think the keys to this matchup are for Ken Dharma? What does he have to do to put the Lakota Warrior Red Cloud down for the 1-2-3?
I think he's got to use his quickness. He's got to use that flexibility. He's got to use his superior knowledge of holds, and that's going to do it for him. Ken Dharma saying he's just as strong as Red Cloud.
I don't think that's a smart idea. Lakota Red Cloud hitting the ropes like a freight train and runs over Ken Dharma right in the center of the ring.
All that weight come crashing down on Ken Dharma. I think he had something else in mind. Certainly wasn't that.
Grabbing him up by the neck and tosses him out of the corner.
It looks like he grabbed the hair to me. That's illegal, referee
please.
countryman. Come on.
Once again, completely wrapping his hands around the neck, not the hair, of High on Life Ken Dharma, and throws him back into the center of the ring. Lakota's strength is fully on display here tonight.
Listen, Lakota is very, very powerful. Perhaps one of the most powerful men in the entire world in this business. Ken Dharma, very resourceful.
Speaking of trying to pull anything out of his bag of tricks, Ken Dharma gets elevated high in the center of the ring and pancaked down in the middle. This could be it. Only gets a 1 count there. I thought that could have been a 3 count for the Lakota Warrior Red Cloud.
Listen, the longer this match goes on, if Ken Dharma can sort of weather the storm, which is something he is very good at, by the way, it only gets to be more of an advantage for him. He's in fantastic shape. Look at the guy. Not one bit of body fat on the body of Ken Dharma. This guy is in fantastic shape. Maybe in as good a shape as anybody anywhere. Certainly dedicates every muscle to being very, very good in the wrestling ring.
Hard shoulder strike right there in the stomach of Ken Dharma. Sends Ken Dharma spilling to the apron. And look at him dragging him right to the center of the ring. What is Lakota planning here? Leg drop, the elevation on that. Covering him, 1, 2. The elevation that Lakota Red Cloud had on that leg drop. It always impresses me how athletic, how much agility somebody the size of Lakota Red Cloud has.
He's big, he's strong, he's very explosive. That's for sure. He's put away a lot of folks with that. And he's shown that he has a mean streak, too, in those matches against the Howlets as well. Listen, I think Red Cloud has a great chance to become the first champion. But he's in here with a guy right now who is just so unique.
And like you said, Ken Dharma is very hard to prepare for. His unorthodox offense, his flexibility, things of that nature are going to lend themselves to Ken Dharma potentially picking up a win, but not when you land headbutts like that on the outside. Ken Dharma just felt the power of Lakota Red Cloud with that headbutt.
Dangerous place to be there on the outside of the ring. Some of those fans out there have horrible, horrible breath. You don't want to be anywhere near some of those folks in the front row.
Will you stop it? All of our fans here, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not even going to get into this with you.
They brush all 3 of their teeth, don't they?
Lakota looks like he's going for a chop to the outside and misses. And his hand connecting with that steel post. That could have broken some fingers there on Lakota Red Cloud. And Ken Dharma capitalizing on it and wrapping that big left arm right around that steel post to the outside.
You can't pick anything up. You can't throw them around, right? That's smart strategy. Ken Dharma seeing an opportunity right there, and he's really going after it. Now you're going to see the mastery of a guy like Ken Dharma here. taking advantage of a very small window and squeezing in there and making it go his way. Look at that.
Dharma now working over that arm and that shoulder that he just wrapped around that steel post on the outside, capitalizing on a big, huge, costly mistake by the Lakota Warrior Red Cloud.
Lakota's that fiery temper definitely got him in a little bit of trouble there. He wasn't thinking. Ken Dharma able to outsmart him.
Using his quickness again, dives between the legs of Lakota, and right there drives the shoulder into the mat, almost like a DDT type maneuver on that arm, going for a cover. Only gets a 2 count there. Ken Dharma frustrated.
Look at that. Every time we've seen Ken Dharma get frustrated, what does he do? He goes into a yoga pose just like that, clears his mind, and gets back on the attack. Very, very smart move from Ken Dharma.
That's not clearing his mind. He's showing off. Dharma, everything he does is to prove how centered, how flexible, what a yoga master he is. He's not clearing his mind. He's just showing off.
Listen, you are somebody who can't do anything better than any other person, so you think every time somebody does something good, that means they're showing off. It's just because you don't have any discernible skills.
Again, Ken Dharma working over that arm and that shoulder of Lakota Red Cloud, and I have to say that is a smart tactic by Ken Dharma, because like you said earlier, if he takes away that strength, if you take away one of your arms, it's going to be hard for Lakota to land any of those big power moves and score the 1-2-3 and advance in the title tournament. Hard right hands to the face, and again goes back to the arm.
Certainly that arm has to be hurting him right now. It's kind of leaving himself open for those open shots from Ken Dharma. That's not something that would have happened to a fresh Red Cloud. He's in some trouble here. Fans behind Red Cloud certainly is a favorite here. You know, he's like them. He's big, he's dumb. Beautiful drop kick right there, right in the shoulder. Notice he didn't go for the chest, he didn't go for the head. What did he do? He went for what was injured, right?
Two count only. If you like, the fans, like you said earlier, the fans here love Lakota Red Cloud. If you like Lakota Red Cloud as well, you can go follow him on Twitter at RedCloud_NWL on Twitter and find out all the latest tweets from the Lakota Warrior Red Cloud. Ken Dharma looking for a submission here. Look at the flexibility. That looks extremely painful.
That is a painful maneuver that nobody here in the NWL, maybe nobody in the entire world, can put on, and that's exactly what I'm talking about there. Using the leg for the extra leverage and the extra power there, that had to take a lot out of Red Cloud. He barely got a hold of that rope.
Did you see that torque on the shoulder and especially on the elbow? I've never seen that move. Kudos to Ken Dharma for pulling that one out. He really wants to advance in this KC title tournament, as all of our athletes and wrestlers do here. And now the Lakota Warrior, those forearm strikes are having no effect. He is feeling the Native American spirits coursing through his veins right now. And Ken Dharma, all those strikes are not having an effect on him right now. This could spell trouble for one high on life Ken Dharma.
Lakota certainly gets the folks behind him.
Lakota shoots him that gaze, and when he shoots anybody that gaze, jumping headbutt strikes Ken Dharma, down to the mat, and a big boot puts him down once again. Lakota feeling all the adulation from the fans right now is really helping Lakota as well. Splash into the corner, comes off that ropes, and nice tomahawk chop right to the top of the head, going for the cover. 1, 2, almost a 3 count. Ken Dharma barely gets the right shoulder up. That was so close. Lakota almost advancing to the next round of this KZ title tournament.
That arm's still hurting him an awful lot. He's got some big, powerful moves in him, but he's having trouble capitalizing on some opportunities here.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't remind the fans that this is one of 2 KC title tournament matches here tonight. Oh, look at that, pressing him. Dharma smartly trying to fight his way out of it.
Getting back to that injured arm right there. Wow, that was impressive strength. Even with the injured arm, Lakota able to pick him up over his head.
Absolutely, spine buster. Nicely executed spine buster. Arn Anderson would be proud of that. 1, 2, almost a 3 count once again. Using that shoulder and that strength to drive the spine of Ken Dharma into the mat. Lakota, still with an injured arm, is able to pull off some serious power maneuvers here.
These two guys have really been putting it all on the line these last few minutes, definitely taking its toll on both of them. Look at Lakota signaling for the bow and arrow. If he hits this match is over.
Dharma smartly holding on to the top rope there and drags him across the top rope. I think there was that arm and that shoulder again. Springboards himself. Nice drop kick right to the face of Lakota Red Cloud.
Right.
Going for a cover here. This could be it. 2, almost 3.
Dharma can't believe it. That would have beat. That has beaten so many men in the past. It didn't get the job done there on Red Cloud. Come on, Ken. Focus, Grasshopper. That's right? That's a yoga term, right?
I would have no idea. I know nothing about yoga, only from what I see here from Ken Dharma. Look like he's going for that springboard moonsault, and Lakota is up just in the nick of time.
That's no good.
Now he's putting him in that bow and arrow position. If he hits this, like you said, this could be over.
He's got him.
And he drives him face first to the mat. This could be it. Lakota going for a cover. 2, 3, and Lakota Red Cloud advances to the next round of the KC title tournament.
That arm of Lakota Red Cloud is definitely hurt, though. He paid a price for that victory, that's for sure.
What an incredible match by Lakota Red Cloud, and we'll be right back here on the National Wrestling League.
This is the Mile High Magnum Dak Draper, and you're watching NWL KC.
Next round, you've got Thor. Are you prepared for that challenge?
Thor, the guy who thinks he's a mythical god. Let me tell you something, Marty. Wine is the only nectar of a god that Niles Plonk cares about. And Thor, you're just going to have to get an education in sophistication and class. And to that, I say, cheers, Marty. Cheers.
And we're back here on the National Wrestling League with our second KC title tournament match. And here comes Niles Plonk, making his way into the Scottish Rite Temple, and he is set to take on Thor Theriot here tonight.
Niles Plonk, just what a classy gentleman this guy is. Here he is with that idiot Belvedere.
Accompanied to the ring by his steward, Belvedere, who we've seen in weeks past. Belvedere is no stranger, and he gets involved in the action here at the Scottish Rite Temple, and I think he's a key to some of Niles Plonk's victories here in the National Wrestling League.
Are you kidding me? He is just there to do a job. He's there to pour the wine. You're trying to give his success, the success of Niles Plonk to Belvedere? Are you kidding me?
And here comes his opponent for this all-important KC title tournament match here tonight. A man who is no stranger to competition and has had his ups and downs in the NWL, and that is one Thor Theriot.
You say he's no stranger to competition. I say there's no stranger. This guy's weird. He's quiet. Doesn't say a whole lot. I don't trust a guy who doesn't talk very much. I need to know what's on somebody's mind. You can never know what's on the mind of Thor Theriot.
Maybe you could take a tip from him once in a while. But regardless of the point, Thor Theriot is one of those guys that he may not talk a lot, but he lets his fists do the talking.
Introducing to you first, standing to my left, weighing 210 pounds, from Napa Valley, California, accompanied by his steward, Belvedere, the connoisseur, Niles Plonk. Niles Plonk. And standing to my right, from Lincoln, Nebraska, weighing 213 pounds, time to hit the panic button, Thor Theriot.
Looks like we are ready and underway here in this all-important match of the KC title tournament. Niles Plonk takes on Thor Theriot, and Thor Theriot is somebody who is not only gunning for that KC title, but also gunning for one Jeremy Wyatt.
Well, absolutely. He should keep his mind on business at hand. If he's got Jeremy Wyatt on his mind, he's going to find himself beat very, very quickly here with Niles Plonk.
And we have to take our first commercial break. We'll be right back with hot wrestling action here in the Scottish Rite Temple. And we're back. Thor Theriot has remained in control during our commercial break. Now he took down Niles Plonk with a nice arm drag here in the center of the ring.
Niles Plonk is definitely a guy that you don't want to get into a straight wrestling match with. Sure, you get wrapped up in the wine and the sophistication and all of those things, but make no mistake, this guy knows how to wrestle. He's got a wide variety of moves. This is going to be a great match.
Slams him hard down into the center of the ring with a one-arm bulldog, too. Thor Theriot, no stranger to, like I said earlier, no stranger to competition, and he's had his ups and downs here in the National Wrestling League, especially if Jeremy Wyatt and Michael Strider are anywhere in this building. You can bet that they've got their eyes on this match.
Come on, referee. Niles, he needs a break.
What is Niles doing? What a cheap shot. What a cheap shot by Niles Plonk. Atomic drop right in the center of the ring. And a spinning hammer right to the back and the shoulder blades of Thor Theriot. Did you see the way he was trying to get the referee, as if he needed the referee to come check on something on him, and then when the referee's back was turned, his cheap shot to Thor Theriot.
Well, that's Thor's fault. He should be ready for combat if he's inside those ropes, and he wasn't, and now he's paying the price. What is Niles Plonk? He just gets better and better every single week. This guy has, like I was talking about his repertoire earlier, this guy's a real renaissance man. You see him doing things that you haven't seen in years. He has an extensive background in combat arts.
Right before we went to our commercial break, I was saying that Thor Theriot is a guy that likes to he's a man of few words, and he does his talking with fists. And Thor Theriot, once he has enough, once he's had enough of somebody's tongue lashing or even a physical combat in the squared circle, once he hits that panic button, as they say, it is lights out for his opponent, because there's an aggression streak in this guy a mile long, and I do not envy anybody who's standing across the ring from that gentleman when that panic button is hit.
Time to stop the grapes. Here we go.
This is the grape stomp, stomping away on the bat of Thor Theriot. If you notice, Niles Plonk is using his arsenal, all those moves that he knows to work on the back of one Thor Theriot. He might be softening it up for the uncorker here later tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's getting ready to put him in the uncorker. If he hits that, the match is over. Really softening up the lower back of Thor. Very, very smart of Niles not to go for the head or the neck of that big dumb meathead right there. It's smart to go to the lower back. I think that's why he doesn't talk, because he's not very bright. He doesn't want to expose himself for being stupid, right?
Niles Plonk in complete control of this match. Hard slam right into the center of the ring. Again, turning him over and focusing his attack on the back of Thor Theriot. This is the corkscrew elbow, and drives it right into the center of the back. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, ref.
Niles Plonk complaining of a slow count there. He believes that was a 3 count. And he locks on a body scissors. Niles Plonk definitely, again, working on the ribs, working on the lower back of Thor Theriot, wanting to ensure that if he ever gets in that Ragnarok position, that he won't be able to execute it because his back and his ribs may give out on him, and he won't be able to hold Niles Plonk in that maneuver.
Thor in a very vulnerable position right there, legs wrapped around him. Plonk could just go ahead and take advantage of him any way he would want to there, smacking him in the head, any of those things. Look at that, he's in a bad way right now.
Trying to roll him back in a pinning predicament, and then slams him back down onto his tailbone. Now rolling him.
Barrel roll.
A lot of people are unaware how disorienting this move can be. He almost had him too.
We talked so much earlier about how it's difficult to prepare for Ken Dharma. I would say the same thing about Niles Plonk. This guy has an extensive wrestling background, brings out classic moves that maybe you haven't seen in decades, things that folks maybe forgot about. Niles Plonk hasn't forgot about it. He uses them to his full advantage, that's for sure.
And that may work in his favor. Another thing that I don't think a lot of competitors in the national...
This is a stump puller.
Wow.
When's the last time you have seen somebody use a stump puller? It has been a long time, very, very effective move. I can tell you right now, that hurts Thor Theriot a lot. Back to that body scissors.
And then back to the body scissors. Smart game plan here by Niles Plonk. Now, I don't think a lot of NWL competitors consider the fact that early on in this tournament, when you looked at the bracketing, I don't think a lot of competitors consider Niles Plonk a threat. Maybe the fact that he's so old school, maybe the fact that he's a snob and a little cocky and a little arrogant, they might have discounted this highly skilled wrestler. And now Thor Theriot raining down forearm strikes to the face of Niles Plonk, and he could be out right here. And again, goes back to the body scissors. There is no quit in Niles Plonk. He wants this KC title badly.
He's got a handful of face right there.
Wow, pulls him up by his nose.
Lots of strength.
That has gotta hurt, and then just drives him into the turnbuckle. Excellent sign of strength by Thor Theriot.
Thor, though, look at it. That took a lot out of him.
Goes for that hammer again, and Thor Theriot ducks. Hard forearm strike to the face, and that switch could have been flipped by the onslaught of Niles Plonk, and now Thor Theriot's feeling it here. Driving that forearm into the face. We've seen this before, going from pillar to post, racking up forearms and elbow strikes to Niles Plonk. Puts the brakes on there, did not crash with a turnbuckle. Nice spinning back kick to the stomach, using all of his, knee strike right to the face. This could be it. This could be a knockout blow. 1, 2, almost a 3 count.
I think he's kicking out just on instinct right there. He got him flushed with that knee right to the face. Wow.
Niles Plonk has got to be on Dream Street after that kind of a knee strike. I swore that connected right either with the bridge of the nose or slightly to the left on the cheekbone. It's a devastating knee. He could be going for the Ragnarok here, which is his modified gut buster. Niles Plonk wisely gets out of it, and again goes back to the onslaught of the back. Oh, Blue Thunder Bomb, sit out. Nicely executed by Thor Theriot, and there's that look in his eye. Thor Theriot is looking to mount the top rope. He may be going for that senton bomb here.
Listen, I don't think that was a smart move. Obviously not very smart. Look, I think he should have went for a cover right there. He had Niles reeling. Now he's caught. Are we going to see a superplex?
Niles Plonk looking like he may be going for that superplex. If he connects with this, Thor Theriot could be sent to the back, and Niles Plonk could be advancing in this title tournament.
And there you go. You haven't seen Belvedere interject himself at all. In fact, Belvedere is sent back by Niles. Niles doing it all on his own, and when he wins, that'll be a sweet, sweet victory, and you'll have to give him all the credit, not say that Belvedere helps him out.
Looks like he's going for the senton finally. If he connects, what is this? Michael Strider again.
Michael Strider coming out.
The devil in disguise himself. Michael Strider's coming out with a steel chair. What does he want? What does he want with Thor? Somebody's coming in the ring. That's Jeremy Wyatt. Low blow to Thor Theriot while the referee was dealing with the devil, Michael Strider. Give me a break. This cannot happen. They're going to rob Thor Theriot here tonight.
Oh, he's got him set up for the uncorker.
He drills him with the uncorker. This could be it. 1, 2, 3. And unbelievably, Niles Plonk is moving on to the KC title tournament Final Four. Those dastardly pieces of you-know-what, Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt have gotten involved. This is disgusting.
Thor, you wanted a war with Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt. You're getting exactly what you deserve. I told you this issue between these guys was not over. Niles Plonk advances. Thor, you're out of the tournament. Wyatt said he was going to ruin his chances, didn't he? And that's exactly what he did. Kudos to Jeremy Wyatt and Michael Strider. I can't wait. Niles Plonk on a roll.
And we'll be right back here on the National Wrestling League.
What's up, guys? I'm Jet Royal. I'm Jax Royal. We're the Royal Blood, and you're watching NWL KC.
And we're back here with some singles competition for you and our main event for the evening. It is Scott Slade taking on the Monarch, Jeremy Wyatt.
Introducing to you right now from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 235 pounds, Scott
Slade is a guy that we don't know very much about. He kind of keeps who he is and what he's about very, very close to the best. I think he's hiding something, if you ask me. Anybody that doesn't come right out and say where they're from, who they are, what they're doing here, I don't trust this guy.
Scott Slade is definitely an international man of mystery. That might work in his favor. It looks like he's got something to say here.
Scott Slade needs to talk to the people of Kansas City right now. See, the people of Kansas City, you've always been hard-working, don't cut corners type of people. That's what Scott Slade likes about y'all. That brings me to the topic at hand. Jeremy Wyatt. This guy is out here. He could be talented, but instead, he's running his little circus novelty sideshow act, complete with the ringmaster, Michael Strider, reaching a new low every week. Well, I'm telling you, Scott Slade is telling you, one time, you come out here and you fight someone one-on-one. You fight Scott Slade like a man. And if you don't, that's why Scott Slade has two hands for both you sideshow clowns.
Those are some strong words from the newcomer, Scott Slade, and the Monarch, Jeremy Wyatt, may have something to say about that.
Scott Slade, did you watch what just happened to Thor Theriot? Do you want some of that? Is that a smart move from Scott Slade? I don't think it is at all. Circus sideshow. Can you believe it?
And now introducing the opponent from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 193 pounds, accompanied by Michael Strider.
Jeremy Wyatt's face,
ladies and gentlemen,
by the
introducing
devil
the
himself,
Monarch,
Michael Strider. And after what we just saw, with them interjecting into Thor Theriot's business, once again, I think Major Basin needs to take a look at these two and suspend them both and get them out of here.
Major Basin is part of the problem in that whole situation. Stipulations on Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt that are unnecessary, that he wouldn't have to do to anybody else, but he chose to do it to those two gentlemen. Now he is having to deal with the consequences of trying to deal with Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt. Very, very smart.
Look at him patting Don Diablo on the face. This Michael Strider is unbelievable. Every chance he gets to get involved, he always comes out with that equalizer, that steel chair of his. This guy, I cannot stand this guy. Ever since he's made his way into the NWL, he has wreaked havoc wherever he goes, and I think I think he just needs to go away, and I think you would see Jeremy Wyatt win a lot less here in the National Wrestling League if that man wasn't on the outside with him.
Absolutely untrue. Jeremy Wyatt, a very, very talented wrestler in his own right. He doesn't need Michael Strider, but he pays him for advice. He pays him to be in his corner, and he pays him to make sure that things are done a certain way. And Michael Strider is a fantastic agent. If you're going to pay somebody to be in your corner, you're going to make sure that that person does whatever it takes, and that's what Michael Strider does. That's what winners do, and that's the problem that you have with Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt, is that they're winners, and you've never been a winner in your entire life, and that bothers you, doesn't it? And it bothers Major Baisden, too.
Collar and elbow tie up, and we are underway here tonight in our main event for the evening. Scott Slade and Jeremy Wyatt. Scott Slade, the last time he was here in the Scottish Rite Temple, took on Dak Draper and took him to the limit, and unfortunately came up just a little short in that matchup. But I'm looking for big things from Scott Slade here tonight, especially against the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt.
We don't know a lot about Scott Slade, but the things that we do know is that this guy is very, very talented in the ring. He's in fantastic shape, very, very strong, agile, very talented amateur background. You can tell that in everything that he does. So, yeah, I expect big things from Scott Slade as well, but maybe not tonight because he's in there with a real pro, a man's man, the Monarch, the King of Kansas City. The King of Kansas City, Jeremy Wyatt.
Can't believe you just called Jeremy Wyatt the King of Kansas City.
Well, why wouldn't I call him that? And when he wins the tournament, he will, when he eventually gets a title shot, which he should because he's robbed in the tournament, he will become the King of Kansas City. It's all right. If you had any brains, you would know that having Jeremy Wyatt as our champion is good for you. It's good for me. It's good for the concessions lady. It's good for everybody. But no, you want to cheer for Wayne Meeks or somebody like that.
Look at Michael Strider. He must have heard what you were just saying. He's almost applauding as if he agrees with all the sentiments you just said, that Jeremy Wyatt is the King of Kansas City. I hope Scott Slade takes it to him tonight. Shoulder block takedown right in the center of the ring. Scott Slade in incredible shape. Again, we don't know much about this guy, but what we do know is he has taken it to everybody he's been in competition with here in the National Wrestling League. Hard arm drag takedown there by Scott Slade.
I will give Scott Slade credit for this. If you're going to go in somewhere and you're going to make some noise, who do you do it with? You do it against the top guys in the area. He's already faced Dak Draper. Now he's facing Jeremy Wyatt. Arguably 1 and 2, and you can put those in either order of top guys around here. So certainly he's no stranger to getting the job done and facing top competition.
Another arm drag takedown by Scott Slade. I love the way he executes these arm drags. They're almost like judo throws.
Fantastic judo throws. You can tell that in a lot of the things that he does, he has a judo background. Maybe he's studied overseas. Seems to be very, very possible.
You never know with this international man of mystery, Scott Slade. It's got to be hard for Jeremy Wyatt to prepare for somebody like Scott Slade, who he knows he was facing Scott Slade tonight, but there's not a lot of videotape on this guy. Going for a roll-up here, gets a 2 count.
One of the things about being a real pro is that you don't necessarily have to prepare for anybody specifically. You just keep yourself prepared, and that's exactly what Jeremy Wyatt does. He tries to make his game plan go ahead, and if he needs a little help from Michael Strider, well, I think that's just fine.
Scott Slade cinching Jeremy Wyatt in a waist lock, wrapping those incredibly big arms around Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt finding a way out of it. Goes for a right hand. Scott Slade meets him with a boot right to the midsection. Could be setting him up for a suplex here. Jeremy Wyatt wisely drops to his knees so he can't lift him. Wow. Oh my God, deadlifts him right off the canvas. Incredible show of strength by Scott Slade. Holding him up there, letting him think about it, tries him right in the center of the ring. Nicely executed by this man of mystery, Scott Slade.
Wow, all the way over the top rope.
And we'll be right back here on the National Wrestling League. And we're back here in the Scottish Rite Temple, downtown Kansas City. Jeremy Wyatt and Scott Slade in our main event here tonight. And Jeremy Wyatt roughly chops Scott Slade right across the chest.
One thing that I've always said about Jeremy Wyatt, he is very, very effective. There's no wasted motion. Everything that he does for a reason. He puts everything into it.
Hard shoulders block right to the midsection by Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt, in every match that I've seen of his in the National Wrestling League, he seems to be almost one step ahead of his opponents. This guy's mind is all about professional wrestling. I just don't believe he can secure as many victories without the devil Michael Strider on his side. Going for a 2 here.
You keep calling Michael Strider the devil. What proof do you have that Michael Strider is the devil?
Because he sticks his nose in. He's
well,
always.
So does Blaine Meeks, and you don't seem to think mine.
Blaine
so
Meeks
did Red Cloud. So did all sorts of folks stick their nose in where it doesn't belong around here. But they're not the devil. Only Michael Strider. You're a hypocrite.
The difference is Blaine Meeks sticks up for what's right, and Michael Strider assists Jeremy Wyatt in robbery, in extortion, in muggings and beatings, whatever nefarious activities these two are engaging in. That's the difference between somebody like Blaine Meeks and Michael Strider.
Sometimes you got to ruffle a few feathers for the good of everyone, and I think that's what Michael Strider.
Going for a roll up here.
Just had him.
Back to the action, hot and heavy here in the Scottish Rite Temple. Reverse elbow connects with the chest of Scott Slade. Scott Slade is reeling right now from this onslaught of Jeremy Wyatt.
I don't think either one of these men expected this to be an easy match. I think they both knew that both guys have a lot of gas in the tank, very, very knowledgeable competitors as well. I think they both knew they were in for a long night, but I just don't think they knew that it was going to be this long.
Headbutt to the back by Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt's going to look to soften up the neck and the back and the shoulders of Scott Slade because he wants to hit that coronation pile driver and send a message to everybody that he's back on the winning ways, especially being someone like Scott Slade would be a nice feather in the cap for Jeremy Wyatt.
Absolutely. Wyatt had a little issues with Thor Theriot as of late. He is sort of back on the winning track, and it's going to only help him when it comes to whenever we crown our next champion. Jeremy Wyatt wants to be the first guy in line for that.
That's absolutely true. Jeremy Wyatt again working over the ribs and the back of Scott Slade. He's going to have to put in a lot of work. This man, Scott Slade, is highly muscled. Look at him grinding his elbow into the lower rib cage of Scott Slade after he's hooked in that abdominal stretch. That's extraordinarily painful here on one Scott Slade.
Now, a normal competitor would just keep him in that abdominal stretch and just sort of ride it out, right? Try to keep it going. But Wyatt adding insult to injury there. And if you can see, he has now locked his hands behind his back, adding more pressure. Scott Slade reversal.
He's rolling him up here. 1, 2. Almost got him in a 3 count there. Nice pin executed by Scott Slade. Scott Slade going for a full Nelson slam. Wyatt fighting his way out of it here. Oh, exploder suplex drives Jeremy Wyatt into the mat.
Suplex him out of his boots on that one. That was very, very powerful. Both men down. Like I said, long night for both folks.
Scott Slade looking to pick up his first victory here, and what a victory that would be against somebody like the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt as he fights up to a full base with right hands and chops to the Monarch.
Scott Slade arriving a little late on the scene to be in that championship tournament, so he wasn't even in the tournament, but looking to maybe secure a spot for a title shot down the line. A win over Jeremy Wyatt certainly gets that, in my opinion.
For all you wonderful fans at home want to check out the latest brackets, latest standings of all the wrestlers here in the National Wrestling League, you can go to NWLeague.com or you can go to FightKC.com. Nice hard clothesline by Scott Slade to get all of the information that you need on the National Wrestling League.
That's right. It's a fantastic website. Anything you need to know. You can also buy some of the fantastic merchandise that we have there as well. Maybe get yourself a Michael Strider's t-shirt.
I hope we don't have a Michael Strider t-shirt.
Well, I hope we do.
Scott Slade hooking him in. I didn't know what he was going for there. Gets a hard headbutt to the midsection. Jeremy Wyatt picks him up. Impressive strength display. Drives him down to the center of the ring. Wow, Jeremy Wyatt. Wow, Jeremy Wyatt showing incredible athleticism there, skins the cat to get up to the top rope. It looks like he's going to go for that elbow, drives it into the chest of Scott Slade. This could be it. 1, 2, almost a 3 count. Scott Slade gets the right shoulder up just in the nick of time, and Jeremy Wyatt looks like he thought that was it too.
Definitely, he has put away so many competitors with that big elbow drop. Scott Slade, he's hurting, but he's still in this.
What a main event here tonight in the Scottish Rite Temple. Scott Slade and Jeremy Wyatt going toe-to-toe here. Looks like he could be going for the coronation. That coronation pile driver's put everybody away, and Scott Slade reverses it, tries to dump him on the apron, and drills him hard with a DDT. This could be it. Scott Slade going for the cover too. Almost a 3 count. Jeremy Wyatt barely kicking out after being drilled by that DDT. Again, monitoring his heart rate, making sure he's still in his perfect zone here. He's not getting to. Oh, look at this! Michael Strider distracting the referee. What is he doing? Thor Theriot just came from the back and just laid out Michael Strider with that chair.
An unprovoked attack right there.
Unprovoked. Give me a break. That's a receipt. That's a receipt from Michael Strider. And look, Thor Theriot's getting involved. The referee calling for the bell.
Thor and Scott Slade are beating up on Jeremy Wyatt. This is a plan all along by Scott Slade, isn't it?
No, it's not. Scott Slade, he's asking Thor, like, what did you do? I had the victory in hand. And Jeremy Wyatt and Scott Slade and Thor Theriot are all getting mixed up here. He looked like he was going for the coronation.
No,
Thor Theriot fights his way out of it. This match is over. This match is a DQ. And Jeremy Wyatt getting out of the way of Thor Theriot, and Thor Theriot in hot pursuit. And we're out of time, folks. We'll see you next week.